Nobody wakes up and says, "Let me ruin something today." But they do, every day, every single one, because of one thing. I did 4 years. Not for what I did, but for what I wouldn't say. 3 words. That's all they wanted. For me to say I was wrong. But at the time I wasn't. And I said a lot of things in there, but not that. God let me sit there for 1,372 days, which, in case you're wondering, is long enough to memorize the ceiling cracks and to lose your taste for scrambled eggs. I walked out at 10:09. Parole officer didn't even get out of the car. And now I'm free, technically. I'm out here with some of the same problems I had 4 years ago. Men who aren't fair. You can't just take Boardwalk. You're not even on Boardwalk.
I rolled a vibe.
And Monopoly money, just like back then. And no real plan for where I'm gonna sleep next week. I should be praying. I would be, except I don't want to hear the words out loud. And thinking real hard with your eyes closed, that's not prayer, that's anxiety. I don't even know how long prayer's supposed to take. My grandmother used to pray all day, out loud, with sweat and scriptures and kitchen timers going off like alarms. I don't have time for all that. I'm trying to plan here. And yeah, maybe I look like I'm doing nothing. But I'm working, figuring this all out. I just don't have much to figure with. God takes too long to answer. And right now, this is a human problem, not a spiritual one. I need a phone number and a blank check. You want to hear something funny? Not ha-ha funny. Just a broke down 2025 economy funny. The wages ain't trying to beat the prices. When I got out, my parole officer had a job waiting for me. It paid $9 an hour. She said it was a gift. Funny. I think I lasted 9 minutes. She got me another one, and another. And finally, I was the donation. I was being promoted in reverse. I took a job at a restaurant, $9. Still broke after 9 weeks. I wasn't trying to ruin the day, but I did. I don't mop floors. I'm not going to be able to make my rent.
Hi.
And this $17 check is not going anywhere fast. I got my first personal mail today. My landlady was waiting to give it to me. It wasn't a bill or a flyer, it was real mail. A letter. I saw the name and got hot all over. It might as well have been a summons. Why is this woman still writing me? Sure, she sent me money every month while I was locked down. I didn't ask for that. I tore into the seal. Wasn't any money inside and nothing that looked like a check. Just words. I tore it in half and dumped it where it belonged. The landlady stood there. Her face was painted some kind of curious. I knew she'd seen everything. There was no mistaking her interest in my trash. Our eyes clashed. She looked away like she just won something. Her voice followed, calm but hard.
A paying person wants to rent this room. I'm afraid that's not you, little one.
Double yuck. Ugh, if she just didn't talk. She pulled a card from her pocket and said,
You did get the notice, right?
I had. The big E. Honestly, I can't deal with that. She let me stew in my room for the rest of the evening. I didn't even tell her I was hungry, more like starved. She was out there at dawn, watering those half-dead plants like she hadn't just handed me an eviction notice. I watched from the window, trying to figure out how to make myself matter to her for one more week. I didn't have a plan, just instincts. And instinct said, follow the flowers. The bees were out in full force, and I was the honey.
Sure.
Her voice reminded me of the bush things she groomed, thorny, pungent, and just creepy. But I have the perfect dress. It's clean. I grabbed the Goodwill Miracle, still amazed it was secondhand. The orange, silky fabric said what I wouldn't and drifted far enough to count. I figure saying yes to the church invite might buy me a few days' grace on the rent, maybe a deacon. The landlady pushed me ahead as soon as we walked into the church. I caught her in mid-eye roll, but the choir made me hold my head high for a second. She walked behind me, but I didn't care, because if this didn't buy me an extra week, then I didn't know what would. Then the music dipped. The chorus gasped. The organist slammed an A chord and held it like a warning. then climbed out of it, half a step at a time, until the choir caught him midair. Then the pastor popped up from the cream-colored pulpit like a weed pushing through cement. He pointed straight at a group in the back. They were already in the aisle. Street clothes, Bibles in hand, different faces from the church folks. They had me standing in a circle before I could sit. Hands everywhere, like I was a clearance rack blessing they were trying to revive. One woman shouted,
"Touch her, Jesus."
She nearly pulled my arm out the socket. A man murmured,
"Raise her up."
He was eyeing the hem of my dress like it was the problem. I knew the prayer wasn't for me. It was about me. Loud, sweaty, performed. I wasn't embarrassed. I was mad. But I wasn't about to cut up, not in church. And lady watched from the side. Judgment was in full effect, looking like she's the one running the altar call, sanctified and smug. Her lips didn't move, but I heard the words anyway. The choir got louder, the saints got looser. They released me. I scrambled to the first open seat I saw. I tried to pull my dress down a little. I ended up staring at the big toe of the little boy next to me. He was probably in between shoes. He nudged me, and I could see that dark spark in his eyes. He asked me, why orange? I told him because my grandma hated it. He had a cute little giggle when he said that's why he wore sandals. I sat there with the same feeling I had as a kid, like I was being watched for the lesson to land. It didn't. My grandmother would poke her finger all in my face. I still get cross-eyed at the memory. Nothing in the world could make me say it. Not back then, not since, and not now. This wasn't turning out right. Where was the mercy? Where was the deacon? Back in my room, the walls felt tighter. No food, no favors. Just instant coffee and the envelope, curled in the trash like it knew I'd come back. It brushed my fingertips like an apology I hadn't earned. I opened it again, gentler this time. 2 lines. My breath caught in my chest, and for once I let it. Where do you send 4 years of stubborn silence? How do you thank someone who never gave up? I used to think they kept hoping out of guilt. Now I wasn't so sure. Maybe it was God. Maybe he'd been lining this up the whole time. I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
I cried until I felt emptied, not better, just lighter. I dragged my phone across the table, slow and steady. I typed a first text I'd sent in over 4 years. I couldn't say it then, but I'm ready now. I'm sorry, I need help, I can't stay here. And then I pressed send. And oh my God, 1 minute later, 9 a.m., I'll be there. Stubbornness never really worked for me. I know that. But we don't talk to stubbornness like we talk to our inner child. Who says, why are you being stubborn? Nah, it's more like, I'm not doing it. 4 hard years in prison, all because I wouldn't tell the truth. But she knew. She sent me guilt money for 4 years. Other than that, you know what I got out of it? Nothing. Everyone else lived their happy little lives because I kept my mouth shut and wouldn't surrender to something that would have been forgotten in 4 days, or at least would have turned out differently. I did 4 years just to protect my integrity, and no one cared. She didn't say nothing. God was there offering opportunities to relent, but by then it was so baked in that I shudder to think about what I did to myself. I chose daily punishment over peace, like there wouldn't be enough punishment in hell. Because stubbornness is a sin. It's also a growth. Anywho, I refused to let this woman get too close.